Hey everyone, I'm Chef Z and welcome back to another all-new episode of Made to Order a la Orden. Today we are making the king of Dominican Easter desserts. We are making Habichuela con Dulce, which is simply like a sweet bean dessert that it's to die for. Now, there's two different ways of making this dish. You can make it with coconut milk or you can make it without coconut milk. And I was curious, so a few weeks ago I actually asked you guys on my Instagram stories, how do you guys like it? And honestly, I was shocked at the results because 50% of you like it with coconut milk and the other 50 like it without coconut milk. Now today, I'm actually going to show you how to make it without coconut milk because it's how my grandmother makes it or made it and it's how I love it. But plot twist, my boyfriend actually likes his habichuela con dulce with coconut milk. So I'm also going to walk you through how to make it with the coconut milk. And honestly, it's super simple. I have here 3 cans of evaporated milk. So if you're part of that 50% that likes it with coconut milk, you're simply going to substitute 1 can of evaporated milk for coconut milk. And if you like a much stronger, in-your-face coconut flavor, you can also add 1 can of coconut cream. Let's go ahead and get started. Making habichuela con dulce is fairly simple once you get the hang of it, and you definitely want to keep handy an extra can of evaporated milk or regular milk, and I'll go into detail later on just why. So we want to start off by washing or draining our beans, and then we're going to add them into our pressure cooker along with some water, and we're going to cook them for about 50 minutes until they get nice and soft. Now if you don't have a pressure cooker, that's fine. You can soften your beans on the stove, but do keep in mind this will take a little longer. So once the beans are nice and ready, we're going to take the beans, water and all, and we're going to place them into a blender along with 1/2 of the regular milk that we're using, and we're going to blend it together until it's nice and smooth. Now, all of my beans won't fit into my blender at one time, so I have to repeat this step about 2 or 3 times, and each time I add a little bit of milk to help with the creaminess. So once the beans are nice and blended, we're going to go ahead and we're going to strain them because what we want is a beautiful creamy texture, and we want to leave behind those little small bits of the bean skin. So once we've strained all of the beans, it's now time to move over to the stove, and we're going to add the evaporated milk along with the sweet condensed milk and some regular sugar. Now you can use either or. I just love how the sweet condensed milk and the sugar kind of play off of each other. We're also going to add some vanilla extract, some fresh cloves, some fresh cinnamon, some ground nutmeg, and some ground cinnamon. We're now going to mix this together until it's well combined. Now, fun fact, one of my biggest pet peeves are those little clumps that ground cinnamon leaves behind. So I like to go in real quickly with a whisk just to break it up. So that's a quick tip if those clumps also bother you. So we're going to cook this on about medium to low flame, and after about 10 minutes, we're going to add our freshly diced batata, which by the way, you definitely want to dice your batata under some running cold water so that they don't oxidize and turn brown on you. So now we're going to mix and mix and mix, and it's really important whenever you're making habichuela con dulce that you're constantly mixing because we added a lot of sugar which will caramelize and you don't want it to burn at the bottom. So once your habichuela con dulce begins to simmer and it wrinkles like this in the middle, then you know that your sugar has caramelized and it's now time to turn your flame down to a very, very low simmer. So we're going to continue mixing, and after about 20 or so minutes, we're going to check to see if our batatas are done, and you know when they're done when you poke them and they're nice and smooth. So again, we're going to continue mixing, checking for some texture. Now, if you feel like your habichuela con dulce is too thick, then go ahead and add extra milk, and at the very end, you want to add the raisins, which is a very traditional ingredient in this dish. Now, you can enjoy habichuela con dulce either hot or cold. Comment down below and let me know how you like it. If you like it cold, then you'll definitely have to add the extra milk just so that it doesn't turn into a paste in the refrigerator. So there you guys have it, my recipe for some habichuela con dulce. And of course, you cannot forget the awesome galletica de leche at the very end. Buen provecho, guys. And I know you're being mean. Oh, Jesus cookies for you. I love these things. These things are Jesus cookies. At least I call them Jesus cookies, and everyone in my family calls them Jesus cookies. But they're technically called galletica de leche. So don't go to the store asking for Jesus cookies because they'll give them to you. But they're technically called galletica de leche.